Okay. Basically from the previous lecture, okay, we had gone through the briefing in terms of the overview of the EAS 3123 course, Management of Aerospace Industry, and I have shared with you the slides related to various companies, major companies that are involving in the aerospace industry in Malaysia. So for today, we will look into the definition and the field that are being mentioned in the aerospace industry landscape in Malaysia. Okay, before we go any further, I believe it is best to look into the historical background, right? So maybe some of you are already know that aerospace is not something that is couple of years ago, especially in Malaysia. So it's all started in a structured manner when the government of Malaysia launched the uh, what we call it as the first aerospace blueprint, okay, in 1997. So that is the official starting point of the aerospace industry development in Malaysia. Since 1997, through this, we call it as a blueprint, the first blueprint for aerospace. The aerospace industry in Malaysia has shown a significant growth. And if we look at the timeline that I prepared here, right? So the blueprint itself launched in 1997, and it is basically a year after that, 1998, the National Aerospace Human Resource Development Study has been implemented. This is where, because the program, Bachelor of Aerospace Engineering program, is part of the aerospace blueprint. So that's why aerospace engineering being introduced by Universiti Putra Malaysia. At that particular time, we have changed the name from Universiti Pertanian or Agriculture University into Universiti Putra Malaysia, and where we start to offer our 4-year degree program in aerospace in 1998. And of course, through this blueprint, okay, the government has set up what we call it as the Malaysian Aerospace Council. The Malaysian Aerospace Council actually being chaired by the Prime Minister himself, and then being the members are cabinet. There are few cabinet members and also industry captains, industry players, and representative from various stakeholders. So that consists of the Malaysian Aerospace Council. Basically, the Malaysian Aerospace Council, they like a guidance, giving guidance into where is the direction of the aerospace industry in Malaysia. And in terms of the focus area, there are 4 focus area, including space, infra, and we also have in 2003 in terms of the timeline, um, they put up a study on aero manufacturing parts and component for the aero manufacturing industry in Malaysia, because before that we do not have any major players having their factory in Malaysia. So having a strategy, okay, by the Malaysian Aerospace Council, so we managed to attract global players. Later on, you will see who are the players that being invited, and they have already invested in Malaysia. And of course, growing activities of MRO, maintenance, repair, and overhaul in 2004, okay, where through the first blueprint, we focus on the MRO activities more. Of course, the development of Subang Airport, where at this particular point in 1998, Kuala Lumpur International Airport has already being used and Subang being left behind. But through this initiative, basically, we want to revive what we have, the facilities, especially for MRO in Subang area. And the initiative to transform Department of Civil Aviation took place in 2006. Of course, it's only materialized, I think, in 2015, where DCA being transformed into Civil Aviation Authority Malaysia. And there are a lot of initiative there, for example, like giving blanket tax exemption for MRO activities. This is to attract airlines, to attract companies, aviation companies to conduct or to perform their MRO in Malaysia. Of course, we are competing with the region. We have players in Singapore. We also have players in Vietnam, in Thailand, and the neighboring countries. Okay, and in beginning 2008. So through the initiative of the first Malaysian Aerospace Blueprint, we started to put more focus on aero manufacturing. Earlier, it is only maintenance, repair, overhaul, and then 2008 onwards, aero manufacturing strategy being put in place, as well as the drone, UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle, or now known as the unmanned aircraft system. All right. And then 2009 system integration incentive pack. We also launched what we call it as the Aerospace Malaysia Innovation Center in 2010 to spearhead the research and technology activities. Okay, and aero industry workforce supply demand study also being conducted in 2010 to ensure the supply of the workforce is enough, is sufficient to cover the growth of the aerospace industry. And then the government also introduced the Economic Transformation Program, or ETP. So the ETP, they have a specific EPP, entry point project, EPP 1, EPP 5, EPP 7, and EPP 8, specifically being introduced to support the aerospace industry, namely the MRO, engineering services, and of course the Malaysia as the hub of aerospace OEM, and developing SME, small medium enterprise development in aerospace manufacturing. So that's what happened prior to 2015. From 1997 until 2015, the first aerospace industry blueprint being implemented. Of course, not everything successful. There are hiccups here and there, but at least there is a specific program, specific initiative by the government, by the industry, and the other stakeholders to ensure the growth of aerospace industry in the country. In 2015, of course, when we started 1997, right? So this is the focus area, where the Malaysian Aerospace Council has steered the development of aerospace industry based on the following 4 focus areas. So we have the MRO, maintenance, repair, and overhaul. We have, for example, like line maintenance, component maintenance, airframe heavy maintenance, as well as engine maintenance and modification, right? We put up a target there, 5%, to capture global MRO market share, right? And then we also have the subsector of aerospace manufacturing, where it includes contract manufacturing, supply chain enhancement, technology acquisition, international program. And we aim to become higher tier in the global supply chain, because in aerospace manufacturing, we have the lower tier called tier 4, and then it goes to tier 3 in terms of the supply chain, and then tier 2, and then the tier 1 that links or deal directly with the OEM, the aircraft manufacturer. And also we focusing on avionics and system integration, looking at air platform, sea platform, as well as the ground platform. So the target is basically, it is just for strategic and technology advancement. There's no specific revenue being targeted in the avionic and system integration. So all of these three subsectors are being supported by aerospace training and education. So from 1997 until 2015, these are the focus area where we start small and domestic focus, and we aim to become a major player in global aerospace market in 2015. So not to forget that the red colored block here, from MRO, aerospace manufacturing, and avionics system integration, also involved in design, research and development. So not saying that we are not doing any engineering and design. It is there, but we do not have a specific focus area. So from 1997 until 2015, we only have the 4 focus area. As a result, from the first aerospace blueprint, 1997, so we have an internationally recognized aerospace industry. So from nothing, from just government companies, now 2015, we managed to attract what we call it the first tier investment, such as a company like Safran. We also have Spirit Aerosystem. We also have SAM in Penang, as well as Honeywell. So that involved for the aerospace manufacturing, first tier investment. We have a company involved in engineering and design under the EPP 5. Okay, we have military MRO activities, strategic investment, ATSB, unmanned system technology, and CTRM system integration. Some of those companies are no longer existed in 2021. So let me just go through the history, and later on you will see the evolution of the company. And under 1997 blueprint, we also introduced Aerotech Park in Subang, as well as Senai Airport Aerospace Park. We also have a Sky Park and Asia Aerospace City. AAC are still being developed by MARA. And not to forget the research and technology. Okay, earlier we do not have a specific body or center that in charge in terms of the aerospace research and technology activities. So the government, with the collaboration with major players, namely Airbus and Rolls-Royce, we established Aerospace Malaysia Innovation Centre in 2011. And of course, the approved training organisation to cater the licensed aircraft maintenance workforces, like UniKL, MIAT, APR, DTS, and MATA. Okay, that is the current status, the history from 1997 until 2015. In terms of the economic growth, the industry has grown to become an important contributor to the nation's high income economy, because it is very important that because aerospace being put as a prioritized area. Even in the recent RMK 12, the government in their budget, they put up aerospace as a priority area in RMK 11, RMK 10, RMK 9. So there's already 3 consecutive rancangan Malaysia. The Malaysian plan has put up aerospace as one of the priority area. So because of the plan that we have, so it's not just happen accidentally, it is actually being structured. Of course, there are some intervention. Okay, so it's just a comparison between what happened in 1998 and where we are in 2015, denoted by the orange color. We look at the MRO turnover from 1998. We only have around 0.8 billion worth of value of the industry, but in 2015 resulted from the uh, first aerospace blueprint. We managed to increase it up to 5.3 billion ringgit. At the same time, for the manufacturing, it is started it's a little bit late in 2008. So compared to 2000, in 2000, 1998, it is 0.12 billion. In 2015 is 4.0 billion. However, in 2018, it's already becoming 7 billion. So you can see the growth. It already supersede MRO, which is 2018 data is 6.68 billion. All together, the aerospace industry contributed from MRO and manufacturing and other activities, provided a revenue of 14.4 billion. So you can see that it is quite significant. It is high value, and also providing a good number of manpower. And in 2018, the data generated by National Aerospace Industry Coordinating Office, we already have 24,500 manpower working in the aerospace industry. And it's just some data from MIDA, as well as Matrade, okay, in terms of the investment. Of course, it is quite fluctuating. In 2018, we only have 0.86 billion of investment. Export value 9.75 billion. Export means product that being produced by the aerospace companies in Malaysia, including services. Let's say airlines service their aircraft in Malaysia, meaning that we export it. We provide services to other players, international players. Import means what we buy. We get services from international players. So money comes in and money goes out. So basically you can see that money goes out is more, 11.9 billion compared to what money comes in, 9.75 billion. So there are a lot of things need to be done in order for us to further increase the capacity of aerospace industry player in Malaysia. Okay, in terms of the numbers of players, this is a data in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So I think 2021, more or less, we have around slightly less numbers because of the current pandemic situation. A lot of companies, they merge as well as they close down, and so lot of things happen. It's not just a simple or easy industry. Okay, so we have around 64 MRO companies. We have around 38 aero manufacturing companies. We also have 25 education and training institutions that involve in providing what we call it as a degree program or the skill program. 8 companies involved in system integration, as well as 3 companies involved in engineering and design. All right, so looking at this landscape is quite a busy slide, where on your left hand side we have this is what happened in 1997, 1998, where we have only a few handful of companies and government agencies involved in aerospace. You can see only Malaysia Airline there. There are no other airlines in Malaysia, okay, because AirAsia has not been born yet, of course. And then at the same time, we only have one university, UTM, providing aeronautical degree in Johor. So UPM, USM, UIAM, and the rest are not yet offering in 1997. And we also have Eagle Aircraft Program, SME Aviation, and the rest. So there are small number of companies in 1997 compared to 2015. We have so many companies, and we have apart from Malaysia Airlines, we have AirAsia X, we have Malindo, Marswing, Firefly, Berjaya Air, and you name it. This is quite what we call it as a like a big happy family. There's so many companies established, right? And so many education and training provider. You can see logo of UPM, USM, UniKL, UTHM, and other smaller colleges. And so we can see that it is a positive growth of the landscape. It's changed dramatically. In terms of the important contributor, aerospace industry has become an important contributor to the nation's high income economy, right? So I've just put up the numbers coming from Malaysia Industry Government for High Technology. They conducted an analysis, data shared by MIDA. Revenue in 2018 is 14.4 billion. This is inclusive all subsector of aerospace. Employment data 24,500, investment data, export data, and number of companies are already more than 200. Okay, so this is just the data showing the growth in terms of what we call it, the revenue from 2009, 9.1 billion ringgit, up to 2015, and then 2018 is already 14.4 billion. So the growth it is increasing, but not steep compared to other sectors such as electrical, electronics, and oil and gas. In terms of the distribution of aerospace activities in Malaysia, mostly focus at the northern part of Malaysia. We have in area in Penang, we have Kulim High Tech Park, and then we of course we have ACM in Bukit Kayu Hitam, and we also have majority of the aerospace activities are situated in Lembah Kelang in the central region, where we have the Technology Park Malaysia, we have Malaysia Space Centre, MIAC, of course UPM is there. We are very lucky to be situated in Lembah Kelang, where the activity for aerospace is the most active. And then we have a pocket of activities of aerospace in Malacca region, in Batu Berendam, where Composite Technology City, CTRM is there. And then we also have the Senai Airport Aerospace Park. Of course, there's not much activity in the east coast of Malaysia, as well as Sabah and Sarawak. Of course, there are training provider, the dotted colored line. Okay, it is a aerospace training and aircraft operator are situated there, right? Okay, moving forward, right? So I have brought to you historical data, the story behind what happened in 1997, and we moved towards 2015. And of course, when I mentioned there are issues, there are hiccups, there are a lot of things can be further improved to enhance the landscape of aerospace industry. So from 2015, the another workshop has been initiated by MIND, Malaysian Industry Government for High Technology, to charter the way forward in terms of the aerospace industry, what we call it as a second phase. We put up an effort to put up another 15 years milestone. Where is Malaysia is heading in year 2030, right? So the new Malaysian aerospace industry blueprint has been added with new flavors because of the current situation in 2015. We know what is best and what is needed to be done to attract more investment in the aerospace industry. So the scope of work, which created a paradigm shift for the Malaysian aerospace ecosystem. Okay, so there are a few points here I want to highlight, that we now need to be more focused and selective, because we cannot do everything. We cannot, for example, like we cannot just simply build our own aircraft. Is it competitive enough, or we do have enough manpower in certain areas? For example, system integration. How about rocket? How about satellite system? And so we need to put up to be more focused and selective. Okay, so we want to add value to the current activities that we are strong already. We have the strength, we have the capabilities, and we should continue in a different um, manner. We do it in a different ways by involving in the early phases of aircraft life cycle. If you can see from our experience 1997 until 2015, many of our aerospace manufacturing activities are just built to print, meaning that we are just manufacturer. We don't involve in design, we don't involve in the analysis. We just get the design that is already completed, and we just do simple manufacturing activities, right? But do we want to continue to do that, or we want to move into more complex components and getting involved in the high value activities? All right. And then the second point there is that emphasis should be given to the revenue and number of high income employment. It's no longer cheap labor. It's no longer low cost activities. It is involved what we call it as a complex activities. So high income employment, right, in aerospace industry, and it's happening now in even in 2020, 2021. We have already seen the positive impact from the Malaysian Aerospace Industry Blueprint 2030. And then the engineering and design services, okay, more and more job packages are being outsourced from the OEM, for example, from the UK, from US, from Europe, going into other countries. So Malaysia should not be left behind, and we should have people like all of you. You are becoming a graduate engineer in aerospace. So we have the numbers there. We need to create opportunities and new areas of opportunities for white collars professional to venture into the industry. Right. So those are the way forward. At the same time, the industry must undergo paradigm shift. We have to be bold. We have to be gutsy to climb to the next level as Malaysia becomes a developed nation beyond 2020. Now we are already 2021. Are we already a developed nation? You can answer that. In 2015, when we put up the blueprint for aerospace, we targeted by 2030 what we are going to become. So in the next 15 years, we highlighted here this, that we must support development and enhancement of local players' capability to participate in major strategic projects. There are so many specific assets being bought by the government of Malaysia, such as like military assets. We have the strategic asset, but very few local players getting involved because of I don't know, maybe there are reasons for it, but in terms of the procurement of a government asset, they should support the development and enhancement of local players to be matched and to be tagged along with the industry giants from international. Okay, that's meaning that's the first paradigm shift. And then the aerospace industry in Malaysia has to transform from being technology user to technology supplier by investing more in research and technology. Okay, this is quite crucial when you see countries that are advanced in aerospace. Basically, the technology are being developed themselves. You can see like China. You can see country like in Europe, even Pakistan, Iran. They are developing their own technology. They use their technology. They develop technology rather than just buy off-the-shelf technology. So we have to transform from being a technology user to technology supplier. So it requires decision by the policymaker Of course, the suppliers, the companies in Malaysia depend on what the politicians, the leader decided. If they decided to develop, if the leaders decided to develop a technology from Malaysian capabilities, then everything can be materialized. So if the leader say that, oh no, we just buy from China, just buy from Russia, we just buy from US. So forever, Malaysia will not become a technology supplier. We are not going to become a technology-driven country, right? So this is, I tell this because this is being stated in the Malaysian Aerospace Blueprint that something need to be done, and you can see that there are already initiatives being implemented to materialize this suggestion. And in terms of the next paradigm shift is that increase Malaysia's content. So we want more parts of aircraft or spacecraft being manufactured, being designed by our local players. So it can be part of upstream market early by participating in international aircraft development program. There are not that many aircraft development program nowadays. So if we miss the boat, we just not manage to be involved at all. So you can see that there are a lot of things that happening where whenever we want to buy new aircraft for our military or our Malaysia Airlines system, we try to put it as the what we call it as the industry collaborator program, ICP, previously known as offset, meaning that when we buy the aircraft, we get some offset programs or ICP program to further develop our capability. We want more content from Malaysia. And then reduce dependency on foreign designs, especially for military upgrade. Why we mention this is because when we talk about military asset, actually we are not governed by the civil regulation, civil authority, civil aviation regulation, and it can be done in-house, meaning that we are not bound to the regulations because it is for military. So we need to develop capabilities of local companies in design and engineering solution. So experience from 1997 until 2015, it is being monopolized by certain companies. They are not really actually genuine companies that are developing own technology because it's just a shell company. They get their expertise from foreign. Or this is quite sad. So something need to be done to ensure that we reduce dependency on foreign. And then of course remain ahead of regional competitors. Right? We of course we can collaborate, but we must make sure that we the Malaysia aerospace industry are not being left behind by developing a strong comparative advantage in the identified focus area. Okay, right. So what's the plan? Okay, by 2030, the journey to the desired 2030 end state will be guided by the following strategies. So under the new aerospace industry blueprint 2030, we highlighted that we would like to capture market share and stakeholders facilitations. There are a few initiatives there in terms of regional MRO market share, high value manufacturing market, regional engineering and design market, local upgrading and integration market, as well as the education and training hub. So by 2030, we are targeting of revenue of around 55.2 billion ringgit. Of course, the value is changing because of the change of the world market. How that we come up with this number is basically we put up around estimation in terms of 8% and 3% per annum respectively for the industry growth rate and the employment growth rate, right? So We also the number of jobs available is not that many. It is 32,000. Currently, we already have nearly 25,000. So we are not just talking about having jobs. It is high value jobs. High value meaning we involve in the engineering and design activities more rather than just simply doing manufacturing. Okay, there are a lot of stakeholder facilitation in terms of policy, in terms of the effectiveness, enhanced effectiveness of institution, harmonizing civil and military regulations to promote green practices for sustainability, right? Invest more in R&D. So many project has been approved related to aerospace industry, and then promote aerospace investment through matching and incentive, matching fund and incentive. So we also attract and prepare workforce of tomorrow for Malaysia. Talking about the workforce, it is not just prepare the workforce for Malaysia. It is prepare the workforce for the region and global. So, and finally capturing new market and strengthen local supply chain. Okay, the flight plan is ready. It's already launched in Lima 2015. Now we are already moving into the 6th year of implementation, right? So this is just another way of providing the areas where initially we have only 4 focus area, but in the 2015 blueprint, we include the engineering and design as one of the focus area. So now there are 5 focus area or subsector that we put up a plan for 2030. Okay, to ensure implementation of the blueprint resulted in the desired outcomes, there are KPIs and key performance indicators. There are milestones. So actually by 2021, now we are already 2021, whether we already achieved 3.5% of global market share for maintenance, repair and overhaul, aero manufacturing. Hopefully by 2025 we become number 1 in Southeast Asia. This is not number 1 in the world. This is in Southeast Asia. Market share is already increasing, but due to the pandemic COVID-19 impact for this nearly 2 years, it does disrupt a little bit in terms of the performance. Okay, and then system integration, local content is we are targeting 30%, but I don't think it's already reaching 30%. And training and education, we want to maintain to become number 1. We are already number 1, but we want to maintain number 1 in terms of the providing workforces, right? Okay, so the government untiring effort and commitment through the Malaysian Aerospace Council has enabled the industry to take off and fly based on the right flight plan. So the industry is forecasted to grow at a comfortable rate of 6 to 8% ideally. Okay, but of course it's not that true. We target this 6 to 8%. Actually, there are sometimes it goes lower, 5%. Sometimes it goes to 6.5 and 7, and we need to support business-friendly policies and conducive industry ecosystem. More foreign direct investment, FDIs, are expected to destine Malaysia, especially in MRO and aerospace manufacturing. Okay, and there are a lot of initiatives that we benefits from quality investment, joint venture, strategic alliance, and outsourcing from parties benefiting from partnership. All right. Okay, so this is an event of the launching of Aerospace Industry Blueprint 2030 in Lima 2015. All right. So, okay, with that,